Hi, I'm Nancy, and this is my persuasive speech. I want to start off by telling you a story about a boy named James. Excuse me. James is a slender youth, and he's more bright than athletic for his age. James attended the public school system up to the age of 9. That's when it began. Name calling, being pushed around, ending with his head being shoved in a school trash can. Naturally, his parents were very upset and went to the school to complain. The school informed James' parents that they were proactive about bullying and that it would stop. It did not. That's when his parents decided to homeschool James. Homeschool director Stephen Chapman has said about a third of the families that have signed up for homeschooling have done so because of a bullying incident. The latest Department of Education figures show that 2,192 students were newly registered for school last year. Of course, bullying is not the only reason that homeschooling is a more pliable option over public schools. There's the moral belief issue. Theodore Roosevelt said, and I quote, "To educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society." Many parents share this sentiment regarding the public school system. The moral belief, violence, peer pressure, drugs, crime, and contempt for authority found in the public school systems is an inadequate setting to educate and socialize our children today. Many school social advocates argue that homeschooling prevents children from experiencing real life. According to a California study by researcher Dr. Brian Ray, 92% of the superintendents believe that children taught at home are emotionally unstable, deprived of proper social development, and too judgmental of the world around them. I ask, how can this be true? What about poor James, the child that I mentioned earlier? You can be assured that he felt emotionally unstable, especially after being pushed around, having negative comments yelled at him, and having his head shoved in a trash can on a daily basis. And also, what about the children that harassed James so terribly? Where did they learn that this behavior was acceptable? In the classroom? Who are they spending too much time with? Obviously, not their parents. The National Home Education Research Institute revealed that the 36 to 56 hours that students spend in school-related weekly activities make peers and adults outside the home the primary influence in children's lives, not their parents. On the other hand, homeschoolers frequently extend their everyday classrooms to fire departments, hospitals, museums, city halls, national parks, churches, and colleges where real community interaction and contact are made. What about cost? Yes, let's talk about the cost. With approximately 2.3 million children currently being homeschooled in the United States, along with a 15 to 20% yearly rate increase, professional educators and school boards are concerned that this departure will keep funds from entering the public education system. Families engaged in home-based education are not dependent on public tax-funded resources for their children's education. The finances associated with their homeschooling likely represent over $27 billion that American taxpayers do not have to spend, and that is on a yearly basis. Taxpayers spend an average of $11,732 per pupil in public schools and spend nothing on most homeschool students. Homeschool families spend an average of $600 per student for their education. Homeschooling allows for the individualization of the curriculum for each child. This allows the child to accomplish more academically than in the public school system. In addition, it permits more freedom in scheduling learning activities and teaches students to be independent in their learning choices. Homeschooling also has a smaller teacher-to-student ratio, which allows more one-on-one contact to develop the child's learning skills. A study conducted by the Vineyard Adaptive Behavior Scales identified mature and well-behaved behaviors in children that are homeschooled. Homeowners ranked in the 84th percentile compared to publicly schooled students who were drastically lower. They ranked in the 23rd percentile. In addition, home-educated students typically score above average on the SAT and ACT tests that colleges consider for education. These students are increasingly being actively recruited by colleges. Research based on adults that were homeschooled is growing. Thus far, it indicates that they participate in local community services more frequently, they vote and attend public meetings, they go to and succeed at college at an equal rate as the general population, and by adulthood, they internalize the values and beliefs of their parents at a high rate. The goal here is not to imply the public school system has become a playground for youthful hooligans, or that today's educators lack enthusiasm or drive. The goal is to find a way to keep our children safe, both physically and emotionally, to instill beliefs, values, and objectives to live long, happy, and productive lives. Homeschooling enhances family relationships between children, including siblings. It provides a venue to socialize children according to the parents' beliefs and morals. It allows the monies collected from taxpayers to be allocated to programs that can assist to educating students that are not homeschooled. It allows greater freedom to choose the curriculum and scheduling for learning. In addition, it permits the opportunity for homeschool students to be recruited by colleges. Most importantly, homeschooling provides a safer environment for children and youth because of the physical violence, because of the drugs and alcohol, and because of the psychological abuse being instilled in our children in the public schools. Homeschooling enables us to teach and impart a particular set of values, beliefs, and worldviews to our youth. Of course, your decision on where your child is educated is your choice. But I hope that I have been able to at least share information that may be helpful if ever you find yourself in the same situation as James's parents. Thank you very much for listening.